Michael, listen, first of all, need you to stop dancing. You're going to scare away the viewers if they ever
You don't
catch you
like my
dancing.
dancing? Like, I feel like as
Uh,
soon as that great music comes on, and I hope Colorcast can hear it, I'm not for sure, but
they cannot, but it's okay.
as soon as it comes on, I have to dance. Like, whoever you did contacted to get that music is awesome, and you have to dance to it.
That's my boy. That's my DJ friend.
Nice. Hello, DJ friend. Shout out to you.
Shout out DJ Lohex.
Low heck.
My boy. Been getting us into the clubs at all ages. So, hey.
Well, anyways,
Michael, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, everyone.
On this afternoon, huh? Interesting.
Yes.
How you doing on this Thursday night, Michael?
Doing pretty well. I actually ventured out into the real world some today, and it felt great to see people. Which, so everyone knows, I have been battling, I about said cancer, COVID, and have my son first had it, who was a 5-year-old son. Just back up a little bit so everyone knows. He came down with COVID on November 15th, I think. And later on after that, I got it myself. My wife got it. My other 2 kids got it. So I've been quarantined for a very long time. I have not been back to work since then yet. But hopefully Saturday will let me know if I can actually go back to work. So I've almost not worked in a month. So I need some social interaction. Connie, you are my only social person I've had during this. Nick, too, a few times as well. And, of course, we were off for Thanksgiving, and then so it hurt a little bit, but that's where we're at now. How about you, Connie? How are you doing today on this great episode of Backstop Banter? Go check us out on Twitter, by the way.
Facts. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We're over on Colorcast as well. So make sure you check us out on. Listen, we're, as I said before,
we are everywhere.
We're multifaceted, as I like to say, Michael.
There we go. Sounds good to me.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if you know what that even means because, Michael has a hard time with words.
I do. So, I make up a lot of words, actually, so I don't have a hard time. Like, people need to come up on my level and learn my vocabulary.
Your Michaelisms?
My Michaelisms. That sounds a bit too much.
Well, Yogi Berra had Yogiisms. That's what they called it.
Okay. I like Michaelisms then. We'll go with it.
But, yeah, a quick little 4.5-hour shift today. Nothing serious. And about the last hour of it, I finessed the system, Michael. Ooh. I was like, yo, they said I had to do training. I was like, they said I had to do training. I'm like, I still never did it. Should I just do it now?
There you go.
I sat in the back on the computer and watched the videos very closely, paid great attention to it, Michael.
If you're like me, when you first do your videos before you're like your very first day of job that you have to do the videos, you're afraid to fast forward or skip anything, but then you kind of get a little brave and ballsy there and kind of fast forward a few. But then like later on when you've been there a year or two, you're like, you know what? I'm watching every second of this because I don't have to be on the floor or in your case, cutting fruit.
Facts.
It's funny how you kind of change. Like, you know what? I'll just
see, and I know the answer now too because it's not like the questions change or anything.
Oh yeah. So it's the same training?
Yeah, basically. You have to do the the customer safety and the, workplace safety, the sexual harassment, of course.
You definitely need to pay attention to that.
Listen, Michael, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't you dare say that. In fact, you're probably going to get me canceled one of these days, joking around like that.
Oh,
how dare you? But we're doing all right. Watching some Thursday Night Football. Obviously, we're going to get into all the baseball stuff. But yeah, speaking of the baseball stuff, why don't we get into it, Michael?
It sounds good since this is Backstop Banter.
This, that's a true statement. It really is. Just listen. It's hard, folks. There isn't baseball going on right now, but hey, we're still going to keep you covered. We still got some topics to talk about, Michael. I think one of the interesting ones right now is the Mets managerial lookout that they're on right now, trying to see who their next manager is going to be. There's obviously been some names thrown around in there, and one of them is Buck Showalter. Obviously, he managed the Orioles for a long time. He managed the Diamondbacks. He managed the Yankees for a short period of time as well. So, I think New York and, the bigger markets and things like that, especially the fans look for a splash hiring. You find somebody that, from the mind. It's weird. Baseball's different. Like, they look for the splash hiring. It's not like football and stuff where, oh, the head coach leaves and all of a sudden you just hire the coordinator as the next coach. The people in baseball really want like some of those big names, and sometimes it hasn't happened too much recently just because they're hiring young people who are into the analytics and things like that. And I'm curious to see what the Mets do in the situation. And I think Buck is still a good manager and can definitely do the job. And I think he's going to get serious consideration because the person who came out and told them that they should hire Buck Showalter was, their big new $43.5 million shiny new toy, Max Scherzer. And now I also wonder though, it's kind of weird to me, right? Because like he just got there and he's already like, all right, this is who I want for manager. And it's almost like, well, listen, buddy, we signed you to 43.5.
Let us at least pay you $1 million first.
Yeah. Why we paid you $43.5 million? Why don't you let us do, our job first?
Yep.
And then we can get to you and everything like that. But I also look at it as what happens if you don't listen to him then? Does he become disgruntled? Is it like, oh, I came for the Mets, they're paying me this money and they're still not listening to me and things like that? And I don't think it would get to that point because I think Max knows, like, why would I start something already?
Right.
But I definitely found it interesting that it was him that said it. It wasn't like DeGrom, somebody who's been there. It wasn't Pete Alonso, who's another leader on that team.
Right.
It wasn't
Lindor.
Yeah, it wasn't Lindor, another person that they traded for, obviously became a leader in that clubhouse. It was Scherzer, who's brand new. And I guess good for him, though, because there's a lot of people that still do like Buck as well. Michael, you got the kiddos running around?
Yeah, hang on one second. What is it, Bob?
The TV's messed up.
The TV's messed up? You can't go to sleep? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Michael.
First world problems. Come here, Micah. Come here. I'm going to put you on camera so the world can see you. Come over here.
This is the first ever appearance.
Oh, look at this.
That's
big
your
man.
child. Yeah, that's your child.
Yes, it is my child.
That is literally a carbon copy of Michael for the people that cannot.
He said you look just like me. Do you think so?
Which also that means I'm sorry. I feel sorry for him.
Oh, he drives the teachers crazy. You need to go on to bed now. Say bye.
The TV's going.
Mommy just came up here to fix it. Go on. Shut the door. Don't come back in. Don't mess with my baseball cards. Good night. Love you.
He said, "Don't come back in." Unbelievable.
Jimmy said, "What's up, Micah?" He said, "Go on. Good night. Love you."
I love you too, Michael.
Oh, Connie said he loves you too. He just went. Listen, so again, I said first world problems. I apologize. So my kids can't go to sleep unless there's a TV on. We let them watch something.
I felt that problem. I was a big TV sleeper up until like high school.
I was until my wife, because she does not sleep with the TV on, and it kills me. But I finally used to it now. I don't think I could anymore. But what we do with them is they pick one show that they want to watch, and they wanted to watch Curious George, which I'm cool with that. And then after so long, when it's like, okay, you need to calm down and go to sleep, we put on like these slime stuff where all they're doing is mixing it, and it's just a lot of noise, and it kind of, what is it called, like
white noise,
pretty much. And it
the ASMR.
Yeah, and they do that with the slime stuff too.
Weird. I don't know how people find that enjoyable.
I can't stand it.
Out. It annoys me.
I have to have some type of noise, music, whatever. Like I'm ADHD, I'm banging on stuff.
I listen to a podcast at night.
Well, we have a fan, like a dehumidifier fan that we go to sleep with now. But like my wife, sometimes she'll put that on her phone, and it's like those people when the microphones are like.
I have no idea people find that enjoyable.
It stresses me out. Like I'm like, there's like no rhythm, there's no nothing. It's just crazy. I'm like, how does that not like stress you? She's like, it calms me down. I'm like, this makes no sense because you can't even have a TV on, but this makes you like calm. It like freaks me out. Anyways, yes, managers. Lindor didn't say who. Who else are candidates right now?
I have seen I'm looking it up right. I did see something about Curtis Granderson, believe it or not.
Okay.
Obviously, the former outfielder played for the Tigers. He was with the Yankees for a little bit, played with the Mets as well. But I did hear some things about Curtis Granderson as well. I would find that a little interesting. I don't know what the correct direction is for the Mets. I don't know how analytic they are. I haven't paid attention to that part of it. And here's the thing: it's if they are analytic, they're going to go with somebody that you probably don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
And if they aren't as analytic, I think that's when Buck has a chance because just listening to local radio and things like that, like Buck is an analytic person. Like he'll listen to everything,
Right.
but he's certainly not going to be the well, they said I have to bat him first, so I'm batting him first. He's going to take the information, say, oh, they want him to bat first. I'll see how I feel. And then, he'll put him in the lineup where he thinks he really should be.
Mm-hmm.
So, there is that difference between we're giving you a lineup card and then we're giving you information.
Right. And just here's a little bit of his resume. I just looked up here. He managed the Yankees from 92 to 95, the Diamondbacks from 98 to 2000. Did they win it during that time?
Who?
The Diamondbacks, 98 to 2000.
I believe the Diamondbacks were the ones who won in 01. See, that's the thing with Buck, too. He's honestly, if you look at his resume, like you just said, those two teams, he's been screwed out of some World Series.
Really?
The Yankees fired him in 95. They won in 96 and then went on that 3-year run of 98, 99, 2000. Then he's managing the Diamondbacks, and he gets fired in 2000. They win in 2001.
Get on Colorcast if you don't care. I can't jump him in, but John's wanting to jump in here on our hot seat and talk with us. But as you're doing that, he also managed the Rangers 2003 to 2006, and then the Orioles 2010 to 2018. So, I mean, Orioles are the Orioles, but still, he's got probably almost 20 years of experience.
See, Michael, here's the problem, though, and John, I love that you want to hop. Actually, John, how about this? Because if he hops in the hot seat, then we can't hear him on the streamer and everything like that. That's the problem. So, John, with
on Count the Bucket, we had a gentleman that we had no idea who jumped in, and Nick actually had his microphone up close to his phone, and it picked up perfect.
Yeah, but then I'm going to hear you when you talk, too, unless you mute yourself on the Colorcast.
It wouldn't pick me up.
No, but I'm saying if he says something and then you talk, it's going to go – I'm going to hear you through the StreamYard and the Colorcast, and it's going to feed back into the stream.
No. You're just going to put it up there when he talks, and you can move it away.
All right, let's see how this goes.
We're going to try it. You know what? Colorcast, we're going to see how this can go. Also, we need a green room.
We do need a green room. Put them on the mic. Here we go. Oh, let's see. I don't know if it's working. Oh, John, how are we doing, sir?
Oh, boy. This is a good one. I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Can you get him closer?
I can get him closer. You know what, John? We're doing A-OK out here. Shout out you for coming on Backstop over here on the Colorcast, like I said, people. So, what's going on, John? How we feeling, boss? You about the Mets managerial job? Got any intake on that? On the Mets manager job, we're looking at some candidates right now. It's either going to be Curtis Granderson's been out there, Buck Showalter has been out there as well. Just wondering what your thoughts are.
Completely honest, the only name I've ever heard of is Buck Showalter. So I would go with personally. I would say that I'm not too in the know on the managing situation. I didn't even know that Buck Showalter was a candidate. But what I can tell you is that they just need more guys that can hit a baseball, frankly. I mean, I think this is a pretty good opportunity. But if you're going to get a guy who can hit big batters, that's what you really need out of this team, frankly.
The Mets need several things, and I think that's
true. They do need several.
I think that's the problem. It's Michael, you gonna hold it up?
Actually, I forgot my mic was right here. This would probably be easier.
Yeah, there you go, Michael. You hold.
John, go ahead and say something real quick, just so we can see if we can hear you.
The Yankees suck.
Well, that's just simply not true. I did hear that.
Okay, thanks, John. Appreciate it. And you're out of the hot seat.
No, he's not. He's just got 3 minutes left there.
I was being sarcastic. You know what, John? We appreciate that, you little turd.
But Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious where the Met job goes. Like, I think Buck is the right hire, just because he gives that
Sure.
experience to the team. He's managed big personalities before. Obviously, he was with the Yankees. He was with a Diamondback team right before they win the World Series, so he has some experience um, with those personalities. And I think that if you're the Mets, you need somebody that's going to move the needle a little bit. So I would go with him. The question is if they do. I mean, Buck's been out of baseball for a while. What'd you say, Mike? We got fired in
18.
2018. So that's
Yeah.
3 years. He hasn't had a job since then. I know he's been working at the Yes Network over there with the Yankees. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do.
I have seen that, there's like Bob Green they've mentioned, but I don't know too much about him. I've done a little research right here as you're talking. Let's see here. Eric Chavez, I think it's been mentioned as well.
I wonder if they go back and take a look at Beltran. I mean, he had the job for about 2 weeks before the Astro thing came out, and he was, associated with it.
Mm-hmm. What was that, John?
I can't hear it, Michael.
Hang on, John. We can't hear you. 1 second. Go again.
Testing.
Oh, there we go. That's loud.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so for my audio, had an oopsie.
No, I wasn't picking up on the mic.
Yeah. Well, regardless. I think Connie was saying earlier about how the Nets need a lot. The Nets need a lot of things, right? And so they're probably need a lot of draft capital coming up in these next few drafts. Probably going to trade for a lot of young assets. And so I feel like a guy who's going to be young, who can relate with the players, and someone alone, maybe a former player who's just out of the league type deal. I feel like maybe that could fit better than a guy like Buck Showalter who's a little bit older. So, I mean, as much as I love Buck, maybe a younger guy could do better and relate with the players more. I don't know. That's just me.
I don't hate it either. I mean, yeah. I don't hate that at all. It's just always that hard balance of like, do you want somebody that does relate with the players and who's going to be their friend, or do you want somebody that's going to be a little bit tougher on them and be able to coach them a little harder? And
I think of the White Sox for this year. That's who I think of. Tony La Russa, what he did there.
And that's the thing. I look at it as the Yankees because that's what I'm familiar with. But they had Joe Girardi, who was tough on people. He called out Gary Sanchez, for not playing hard and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And then they fire him because he doesn't, relate to the players, everything. They hire Aaron Boone. And realistically, they haven't been in the same spot that they were with Joe Girardi. And then you look at the White Sox, where they have a lot of talent, as John's hot seat time is going to run out right here. So, John, we appreciate you, brother, on the show. We look at the White Sox, where they weren't as successful. They hired La Russa, and now they were in the playoffs last year. So it's always that imbalance of trying to figure out which type of personality is going to go together with your team.
Well, that's like, even though with the White Sox, I don't think Tony La Russa really worked well with the team. But I think there was a lot of friction. Like we had, what was his face? Mercedes, was it?
Yeah.
It was something to that. If I want to say it was Mercedes, but
no, it was. I can't remember his first name though, so it's going to annoy me.
But he came in as a rookie and was killing it, and then all of a sudden it was like Tony La Russa jumped onto him a little bit, and he couldn't handle it, and he went back to the minor league and actually quit baseball for a day, and then Tony La Russa actually had to talk with him and build him back up, and then he came back. So I mean, he didn't quit his complete career. So I mean, I'm not going to get into that part. That's another story probably, but that just kind of shows you how different generations are right now as far as.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah, like, I mean, when I played, and I'm not super old, but I'm getting old. I'm almost up in the 40s.
You're like 40. You're like, 55, right?
I mean, I'm 35, so
okay.
It's all right. But, like, I can and I love this coach to death. Like, he's one of the most winning coaches here in our county as far as just high school basketball. He's over 500 wins with women's and boys basketball high school teams. But watching his style from he coached in the 90s, and it was, hey, if you don't play, I'm quitting on you all. Y'all don't care anyways. That was his style. Well, then when I watched him coach in the mid 2000s, 2010, and so on, he still had that same style. And some of the players said, just quit then. Like, that's totally different. You can't have that old dog with the new tricks, basically. But I think La Russa, as the season went on, kind of adapted a little bit as a 72-year-old man after he got drunk driving. But anyways, I feel like, mid-season he had to realize, okay, I can't be the same way. And I do think he kind of evolved a little bit. Granted, when he run out there to take up for some of his players at home plate, it took him, 20 minutes to run out there with his walker to get out there. But at least, he was back in his team and they seen that loyalty from him. It's just he had to learn a new style. So can it work? I think so, but they have to be willing to evolve. And sometimes I don't think old guys want to evolve.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's being able to keep up with, who is in your clubhouse.
There we go, John. Look at this. The trooper, the MVP customer for today, or the listener. I don't want to call you a customer.
John over there went from the Colorcast to the YouTube. I mean, hell, he might switch over to Twitch one of these times as well.
Who knows?
You never know. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I think Buck is the right person. I think he can get the most out of the team. I just hope that I don't know. But I'm also kind of anti-analytic in a way where it kind of annoys me a little bit as Michael's filling up his water.
I am into analytics. I really am.
I don't mind. I think they have their place.
Yes,
and
that's just it.
I think that we overuse them too much. Because here's my thing with analytics, right? And even the analytic people say it, which is what I don't understand of why teams are built on it. For a 162-game season, it works.
Uh-huh.
But all the analytic people say, "Oh, in a playoff series, they don't matter. Like it's a crapshoot, whatever." So you're telling me
requesting a mic.
Oh, do we now? I don't. Where's this? Where are we seeing this?
Patrick, if you request it and it's timed out, please send it back.
I was going to say.
Connie is slow on the app. We are, just so you know, we're not only on Colorcast, we're also streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, not Instagram, Twitch, you name it right now. So we're kind of looking at our camera as well.
Add a guest, Michael. You got the mic. I'm gonna put him on for a minute. We'll see what Patrick has to say, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Oh, you mean for him to speak? I got you.
Yes, sir, Michael. Of course.
What do you mean I got the mic?
As we welcome Patrick to the show, what's going on there, brother?
I think that you should look into that Ben Simmons being traded to the Memphis Grizzlies possible trade.
Okay, I do remember you, Patrick. You were on our show with Count the Bucket. This is Backstop Banter where we're talking baseball right now.
Oh, shit. Wrong show.
That's all right. That's all right. We've been talking about the Mets right now and what they're going to be doing as far as a manager. I don't know if you love baseball any whatsoever.
Oh, I love baseball. I tune in, yeah.
Good. But I will say this just to address it a little bit. I think Memphis are a good team right now. I think they're on like a 5 or 6 game win streak. I think they're a team to watch out. And watch out for Desmond Bain. Bam, as I pull out his card. I think he's going to be a very good player for years to come.
Michael, all I'm saying is...
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Yes, sir. Listen, all I'm saying is, Michael, Ben Simmons directly to the Nets.
To the Mets?
No, to the Nets. To the Nets. Come on, Michael.
That's like, what? I mean, I guess
you never know. Ben Simmons, I was going to say, maybe Ben Simmons could play first base or something. You never know.
I tell you what, he needs to be either second base or shortstop because, he's a good passer. He's a good relay man. He just, he can't shoot, though.
Hey, maybe third. Maybe third. The high
maybe
corner.
Third. There
Make those
go.
Long, full court passes.
Poor Ben Simmons. I do think, well, I'm going to get on that subject. Let me just say this. With Indiana Pacers saying that they're about to trade everyone, basically all their superstars, and Portland the way they are, even though CJ's hurt right now. I don't know if you know this, but he's got a collapsed lung.
Collapsed lung. I saw this.
And then Damian Lillard hurt as well. I almost feel like they might be a 3-way trade there because Ben has been talked about with Portland, and I think Ben and Dame could be a good match. and also think Sabonis may go in with that trade to Portland. But anyways, let's just keep on going. I need to write an article about that.
Yeah, listen, Michael, why don't you? So I did look it up though. The Mets manager candidates so far that they've interviewed 6 people.
Okay.
They interviewed Showalter, Al Smith, who, if you remember, was, I believe, the Tiger manager for a little bit, and then got moved on from there, went to the Angels. He was only there for a season before they fired him for Joe Madden. But a little thing with Al Smith is apparently the Mets' new GM is the one who wanted to hire him in LA because that's where he came over from. But the owner, after the year, was like, all right, never mind, fire him. Because apparently the owner for the Angels is very hands-on. Like, he's, in on all the decisions. It's not like some of the owners where, it's I have baseball people for the baseball stuff, and I just kind of, write the checks.
Right.
He's apparently very hands-on, so he's the one that wanted Madden. So there's that little connection there of Al Smith. They also interviewed Espada. I believe that is Joe Espada. I believe he's a bench coach for somebody. I cannot remember who it is. And then Jaron and Quattaro. Matt.
I've seen that name, and I wasn't about to try to announce it or
pronounce
it.
He is actually, I believe he's the Rays bench coach.
Was you saying Espada? Where was he at?
Where?
Is that what you asked?
Yeah, I think he's with the Astros, right?
Let's see here. Here's a resume. What on this article? It has Marlins third base coach from 2010 to 13, Yankees third base coach 15 to 17, Astros 18 to present.
All right, so he's with the Astros. I believe that
coach,
Matt Quattaro or whatever, Quattraro. I don't know how to say the name. Listen,
it looks like it is Quattraro.
He's the Rays bench coach. So, Michael, if you look at it,
I mean, the way the Rays have done.
But see, here's my thing, right? You look at it, Buck's the only one I would think in that whole group that's non-analytical. So, do you look at it and say they're interviewing Buck to make Scherzer happy, but they really want an analytics guy because basically everybody else on that list is?
I mean,
Al Smith, it definitely is. The Tigers are very analytic, and I think the Angels are as well. Obviously, the Rays are over the top with it. The Astros use it a lot as well. So, I don't know. I still think Buck is the correct answer, but I guess I'm not surprised if they don't hire him. And
I didn't even think about Carlos Beltran. I would like to see Beltran.
Well, I guess they've interviewed 6 people, and that's all they're interviewing. So Granderson wasn't in there, who I said earlier was apparently a candidate, and I guess Beltran isn't one anymore as well. I don't know. I almost feel bad. Almost feel bad for Beltran. Like, everybody else kind of served their time and just carried on. Beltran's kind of the one that didn't get that opportunity. I mean, I guess the GM of the Astros probably isn't going to get another job. But Alex Cora served his. He's back with the Red Sox. The coach at the time for the Astros served his. He's the coach for the Tigers now. So, I don't know. It kind of sucks for him. I think Beltran would have been a good hire at the time, too. I liked it when they hired him, but obviously that's when everything came out. So, it's just kind of hard.
I agree. This is a little off subject, something we didn't even talk about, but I just seen it on Bleacher Report, meant to mention it to you earlier. Did you see Vladdy with his home run that he hit?
I did not.
Okay, wrong Vlad that you're probably thinking.
All right, then yes, I did.
Okay,
when you said Vladdy, I thought you meant the one that you're obsessed with and have dreams about.
Ow, that's a little extreme, but probably correct. Vladdy is a man of the people, is what the article basically starts out. Vladdy hits you're out here having fun. 15-year-old Vladdy Guerrero. Ooh, I said that really very good, didn't I? Who is obviously Vlad Guerrero's son, age 15, kills one out of the park. I'm watching it here. Go to Bleacher Report, walk off if you want to see it. He absolutely destroys this ball.
Yes, he
But
did.
yeah, as a 15-year-old, he looks like a man already. So
Was he a lefty?
on this here, what he was batting right-handed.
Oh, he was. Damn, I thought it was lefty for a second. I was going to say, so you bring a lefty, Vlad Jr. into the.
I don't know if he's junior because the other two are Vlad. This one is Vladdy.
Third, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just gonna go with Vladdy.
Michael, did you hear about the 2021 Hall of Fame Golden Era Committee Hall of Famers?
No, I have not. Please inform me.
All right, so the Golden Era is one of the 4 era committees, each of which provide an avenue for Hall of Fame consideration to managers, umpires, and executives, as well as players retired for more than 15 years. With that being said, there's some people that we have entering the Hall of Fame now. Gil Hodges,
Okay.
a name that I believe, he might be the former Yankee. I'm not sure.
Of course, he's a Yankee.
Well, listen, it's kind of, and I guess, I don't know. I guess these are for people that were on the ballot originally and then just never got elected, but they do now. So good for them, I guess. So Gil Hodges gets in. Also, Jim Catt, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, and Bud Fowler and Buck O'Neill were chosen by the early baseball era committee. I didn't know that there were so many committees, but we have new members of the Hall of Fame, Michael.
Okay.
So I'm going to look up some numbers here because I'm a little interested to see what some of these numbers are. Let's look at Gil Hodges. So he has 1,921 career hits, 1,274 RBIs, 370 home runs, 63 stolen bases.
What year did he play?
He played, wow. He started his career in 1943. Technically, he played one game in 1943. So I don't know.
Okay.
See, this is weird. Look, 1943. Then I don't know. Maybe he went into the war because his next year was 1947.
Okay.
And then he played from 1947 to 1963. So he had an 18-year career. And, yeah. So that's Gil Hodges. Let's see. I wonder if I can see some official numbers here, huh? Batted 273, 370 home runs, 1,921 hits, a 43.9% WAR. So Gil Hodges, first baseman and outfielder. You know what the funny thing is, Michael? I know some of these people for the simple fact that I play MLB The Show. And there's some of the legends that you can unlock. That's why I've always liked some of the video game stuff as well, because you learn
some of the history
that you literally had couldn't pick out some of these people if you didn't play a video game in my eyes out of a lineup.
Or they're from your own team.
Yeah, but you couldn't pick half of them out of a lineup.
No. But I will say this: in 1944 was World War II. I think it started in 1939, so that's probably what it was.
Let's see. Jim Catt played for. Let's see here. This is a long career. Started his career in 1959 and played until 1983. So that is one heck of a career.
Oh, wow.
This man was a pitcher. Let's see some stats here. He was 283 and 237, 3.45 ERA. He also had 17 saves.
He had 25 wins in 1966.
I mean, hey.
Also, at the end of his career, he had 21 wins in 74, 20 wins in 75, and 12 wins in 76.
Michael, this brings me to a question, right? Of no baseball and Warriors never seen a league of their own. That is true. But that brings me to a question. In fact, it was on Colorcast of people talking about the most unbreakable records in sports. And I still think the one record that has no chance ever of being broken is Cy Young's win record.
What was it?
He has 511 wins.
Oh, for the career. Gotcha.
Do you know who the next closest is?
I'm going to say Greg Maddux.
No, active player. I'm sorry. Next
Closest
active because they're the only
wins?
people that can make it. They're the only people that can break the record, Michael. The retired players can't.
I'm
win
with you.
anymore.
I'm with you. I mean, I want to say DeGrom just because of the way he's pitched, but he doesn't get wins because of who he plays for.
This is true.
I mean, Cole Garrett, maybe?
Cole Garrett. Never heard of him. I'm
Or Garrett Cole. I'm sorry. Garrett Cole. Maybe?
No, he was a teammate of this player.
He was a teammate?
Is the key word here, Michael.
But you said he's active.
He is active.
Who? Just go ahead, tell me.
Justin Verlander.
Okay, he's like 45.
Closest.
That makes sense.
Yeah. 38 years old, Michael. Do you know how many wins he has by any chance? You want to take a wild guess here?
What? Oh, 192.
No. 226.
I mean, I was close.
So Justin Verlander has 226 wins at 38 years old. There's nobody that's even going to come close to that record ever again.
I will say this. Wait, let me first ask you a question. In order to get a win, you have to pitch 5 innings, right?
Well, I think it's just wins. I don't think it's starting pitcher wins. So I guess technically a reliever can.
Well, I mean, right. Because if they take the lead in the relief.
Yeah.
But he was a starter, right?
Yes, Cy Young was a starter. You're correct.
So as a starting pitcher is what I'm referring to. You have to pitch at least 5 innings.
It's at least 5 innings. Yes.
So, yeah, I would agree with you that no one will ever match that because of these opening pitchers that we're kind of going to now, which is ridiculously stupid. But
Michael, he started 815 games in his career. And
800
pitched 7,356 innings.
Wow. Can you see how many?
Michael, I mean, just look at this. In his career, right? In 1891, so we're going to throwing it back a little bit here, 27 wins. In 1892, 36. 93 at 33,
wow.
I mean, 26, 35, 28, 33, 32, 28. I mean, during the actual from 1891 to 1906, the lowest amount of wins he had was 13. I'm sorry.
How many innings pitched did you say he's had?
In his career?
Yeah.
He pitched 7,356 innings.
Wow. Justin Verlander on baseballreference.com, he has pitched right now 2,988 innings pitched.
Michael, in 1891, he pitched 423 innings. In 1892, he pitched 453 innings.
That man probably pitched every game.
I mean, that's incredible.
That's crazy. That really is crazy. That's
that's not even an opportunity of it happening again.
No. Unless, no, there's no no's. The only way that someone could even come close is if they are a starting pitcher that starts out pitching great, has a few 20 wins early in his career, and then goes to a closer/reliever and gets a lot of 1 inning pitched wins. And I don't even think that will happen. But that would be the only way I think it could come close.
I mean, that's 511 wins. Like I said, there were seasons where he won 36 games.
That's crazy.
And he went 30 in 1892. He went 36-12 with a 1.93 ERA. Michael, he pitched. Let's just make sure that. Yeah, he pitched 48 complete games that year. 48
complete games,
and pitched 453 innings that year.
Wow.
48 complete games.
Okay, this is Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt. But according to this, the second most wins is Walter Johnson with 417. Of course, that's not active. Let's see here. Andy Pettit is in 42nd place with 256. I just want to try to look. Greg Maddux is in 8th place with 355. I'm looking at those other names above him. I don't recognize them.
I mean,
Nolan Ryan, 324. That is tied at 14th place.
I wonder what more unbreakable MLB records there are. Most unbreakable MLB records. Let's see. List of Major League Baseball records considered to be unbreakable.
Share that screen if you don't care, sir.
I mean, it is on Wikipedia, so we'll also take it with a grain of salt. But,
Right.
It's fine.
This, that, and the fourth.
I lost it. Oh, there we go. Bam. Let's see.
I want to know who has the most stolen bases.
Most career wins is 511. Most wins in a season is 59.
59 wins.
All right, I lied. Maybe that's the most unbreakable record.
I
Instead
mean,
of the
these
career
pitchers
wins.
are not even pitching that many games
Most
anymore.
career complete games is 749. I mean, if you have a pitcher throw one complete game, that's unbelievable.
In today's era, for sure.
Listen.
Actually,
Wikipedia,
seriously.
I love you, Wikipedia, but I'm not donating to you, okay?
The most complete games is probably never going to be broken because that doesn't happen anymore.
This is also true.
Most career shutouts.
Most complete games in a season, 75. Wait, so what was this one? What was the one above this? Most career complete games. Okay. Most complete games in a season, 75. Most consecutive complete games in the season, 39.
Most consecutive. Oh, in a row?
He threw 39 complete games in a row.
Without being relieved. Wow.
Most consecutive. That's incredible. 2 no-hitters in a row by Johnny Van Der Meer in 1938. I could, here's one record that I could see being. I don't know why. One day I think most career no-hitters by Nolan Ryan could happen. I know it's at 7 right now, but with the way hitters are now, striking out more than ever, I could see it.
Now, if you don't care, back on up. I want to look at some of those early ones because I've got a question.
Which one we want to look at, Michael?
Keep going. It's almost at the top.
Okay. This is the top.
Okay, there it goes. Let's see here. Most wins in a season, 1884. I want to know how many games was played that year. Because back then they didn't have 162 games either.
This is true. I do wonder how. Why don't you look that up, Michael? Why don't you look it up?
1880 what?
84. I wonder if it tells you somewhere. Are we finding any research here?
We're getting there. Let's see here. Okay. St. Louis Maroons were number 1, and they won 94 games and lost 19. So 104, so 120 roughly, and that's just me rounding up there.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a lot of games. But still, 59 out of 120? That's
he literally had to pitch every day.
I mean, that's almost half.
That's ridiculous. That's incredible. Let's look at some more of these pitching ones. There's some most career shutouts, 110. Most shutouts in the season, 16. Most career strikeouts, Nolan Ryan. I think this is one that can be broken as well. Most career strikeouts, 5,714. I think one day it could happen.
Most career. Yeah, I do too.
Most innings in a season, 680. Oh, my. Will White in the 1879 season, he set the record of 75 complete games noted above. Wow. 680 innings in one season.
Wow. What's crazy, and I know it's – can you imagine the wear and tear on these pitchers back then? Like,
I have no idea how they even
They were
had
men.
an arm.
I mean, that's just
I don't know
one
how
thing.
they had. I don't know how they had an arm.
Because these guys probably needed Tommy John too.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, granted, they probably weren't throwing a lot of curveballs and sinkers and this whole 9 yards.
And they weren't throwing. I'll tell you right now, they also weren't throwing 100 miles an hour.
No, and they were throwing. I mean, probably mostly fastball strikes. Like, I wonder how many pitches some of these pitchers pitched in a season. Because I bet you it was like, hey, strike, strike, strike. Like, you hit the ball, let's just field it and do that. Like, that's how hardcore they were. Like, I'm not going to try to throw anything, make you chase it. I'm just going to throw it as fast as I can past you and let you strike out. Now, I will say,
MLB hits, Pete Rose, your boy.
That's right. You knew that, didn't you?
Of course I know that.
Okay. Actually, did I? Was that who I won? I had a buddy bid on a baseball card for me yesterday, and I won it. And I think it was a Pete Rose baseball card.
Most hits in the season was 262 by Ichiro. I can't see that being broken at the moment. With the way hitters are now, can't see it.
No.
Most consecutive seasons with 200 hits is 10 by Ichiro as well.
Yeah.
Most career triples, 309.
Look at that sweet card.
I think this is one that's going to get broken.
Look at my card.
I can't see it. Hold on. Oh, look at you. Yeah. Michael, I was on the page scrolling for the people.
Oh, okay.
I think this record's broken, Michael. What do you think? Most home runs in the game is 4. I think somebody will hit 5 one of these days.
Who's he got listed? Mike Cameron played for the Reds. And I want to say Jeanette. There should be another one. Jeanette did it.
Well,
for
18
the Reds
players
as well.
have done it.
Oh, okay. Wow, 18 players.
So
yeah, I think with the steroids that we don't know about, that it will be
or
done.
the inflated, baseball.
Yeah, these random balls.
Most grand slams in an inning, that might not be broken because you would have to hit 3 grand slams in an inning. I mean, I don't think that's inning. I don't know if that's possible.
I mean,
highest career batting average, Ty Cobb, 366. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Not even close.
Hold up. That says Fernando Tatis in 99.
He did.
He hit 2 grand slams in an inning?
1 inning. Fernando Tatis.
Wow. I thought it was because it says only 12 other players have ever hit 2 grand slams in a single game.
He did.
Yeah, I don't think that that is crazy. I thought it was just another teammate that did it, but no, it was one person.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just time out. For someone to get to bat 3 times in 1 inning, that is 9 times 3, 27. That's 25 hits or walks that has to be done in 1 inning.
Yeah, I'm going to go with not going to happen.
Not to mention the bases being loaded
you have
again.
To be lucky enough that the bases have to be loaded.
Yeah, I would say that's never going to happen.
Well, you know what else isn't going to happen, Michael? The highest single-season batting average, 440.
No.
I mean, that's incredible. Yeah, it's so fun looking at some of the old-time stats. I mean, that was in 1894.
Right.
Most RBIs in the season, 191. Jeez. Most regular season games played, 165. I wonder, how did he do this? 1962, Los Angeles Dodgers, Maury Wills played in all of his teams 165 regular season games that year.
Thanks to the
best of 3 playoff between the Dodgers and San Francisco Giants, which ended the season tied for first place. Because of the playoff was to determine the regular season winner of the championship, the games were counted as an extension of the regular season and not the postseason. Okay.
Ooh, I bet you the owners don't allow that now.
No, they would make that a playoff game so they can make more money.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's another one. Cal Ripken Jr. is safe. Most consecutive games played, 2,632. Not even a chance in hell. No.
You think so?
Michael. They build in off days for players now.
They do. I mean, you're right. They do. I mean,
you look at basketball, they don't play back-to-backs. You look at baseball, I like to get this guy, a day off once a week.
I want to check that record out. Most
What?
consecutive played games. I want to see who's in second.
Lou Gehrig,
How do you know that? Does it say it on the
because
screen?
that's whose record he broke, Michael.
Oh, yeah.
But it also does say it, but I knew that anyway. Lou Gehrig played in 2,130 games in a row before ALS took him out of the lineup. I think Joe DiMaggio could happen.
What
Longest hit
is it?
streak,
I'm not-
56 games.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think so. There's so many strikeouts now.
I know. I just feel like it could happen.
I mean, you can't say that can happen if you don't think that batting average will happen. Like, I kind of feel like
What do
those
you
two
mean? All you have to do, they could go 1 for 5 in a game.
How many times do they bat 5 times anymore?
All right, they could go 1 for 4.
Okay,
That's still only a 250 batting average.
So you're saying at 250, you think that they could hit how many?
They would need to hit
Streaks,
57
56?
games in a row.
That's not going to happen.
You need 1 hit in 57 games in a row. I think it's possible.
That's
all right, but
not
we're
gonna
talking about unbreakable. I think that one is breakable.
What, the mini hits? I don't think so. I really don't.
Listen, do I think it happens easily? No, but I think it could happen. Oh, look at that, Michael. Most stolen bases in a season, Ricky Henderson, 130.
In a season, wow.
Wow, Ty Cobb holds the record for most steals of home in a career. He stole home 54 times.
Now, I don't think stolen bases are broken because they don't even really steal bases anymore.
Yeah, nobody steals bases anymore. They don't even know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Most All-Star games played, 25 by Hank Aaron.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's a long career.
Most wins, losses, and games managed. Connie Mack was, what the hell? He managed 7,755 games. Jesus.
I mean, how long? 76 times?
So let's see. Mack owned the Philadelphia Athletics and managed them for 50 years until the age of 87. Shortly after his retirement, blah, blah, forbid owners from managing their teams. Yeah, that's crazy.
I wonder how many Tony La Russa's at.
I'll tell you right now, I didn't close to that one. Most road losses in a season. The Cleveland Spiders went 20-134 for most and had 101 losses on the road. Now that's something.
I like Spiders better than I like
Guardians.
Yeah.
Highest paying attendance. 115,301 for a preseason game.
I'm sure the Yankees were involved.
It was a game between the Red Sox and the Dodgers in 2008. Wow. Interesting.
Okay. How many games was that? 7,000 managed?
7,755, I want to say.
How many wins? Oh, you're not at it? I've got Tony La Russa's pulled up here.
3,731 wins, 3,948 losses.
Okay, I would rather not be close with the losses. Tony La Russa has managed 5,259 games. He's won 2,821, and he's lost 2,434.
How old is La Russa?
And 4 ties. He is 77.
Yeah, not going to happen.
I don't know.
I mean, unless he manages until 87 like Connie Mack did.
You've seen him trotting out there. I mean, he's got some speed going out the home plate.
Yeah, speed is definitely not the word I would think of.
Why not?
Well, Mike, I had fun looking at some of these records. I did.
I did too, actually. Honestly, I think we need to kind of do that more. Come up with a record and kind of go in depth with it a little bit every show.
Right, we can make it a segment.
Especially since the lockout, we're gasping for things to talk about here.
You know what? That was one of the things I wanted to talk about, actually. You just reminded me of that. That was literally the second thing.
Gasping?
No, the lockout. That was the second thing I was going to talk about on the show, and then we got all distracted. Michael, I got a question for you. You think if this was the NFL or the NBA, after one day, we would stop talking about the lockout?
I mean, It's like it's not even existing anymore.
Exactly. I think, and I was listening to some stuff today, and it feels like the MLB just overplayed their hand. It's like they thought a lot more people were going to care and like be up in arms about it. But I mean, I remember the NFL lockout all those years ago,
Like,
and
they did an everyday count. Like
every day they talked about it.
But if you think about it, how much on every sports show there is that we talk football, like it's every day there's a segment for football, and
Even
it's
during
only
the
played.
offseason.
Yeah, like it's what's Dallas Cowboys going to do today? I mean, let's be real. Dallas has talked about so much, and now all you hear about. Excuse me. Today is Thursday. There was a game, but all I seen on ESPN today was, could this be a Bill Belichick and Tom Brady Super Bowl? What are the percentage of this?
Pray for.
I don't. I think it'd be horrible because it's going to hurt one or the other's legacy. It's going to change to Tom could do it without him, but we know Bill helped Tom to win those Super Bowls. Or if Bill wins, Bill was really the reason Tom has those rings. We know that Tom was the reason those rings, but Bill, like they're A1 and A2. Like you can't tear anyone down on that. So I don't want it.
So fun.
No, it wouldn't. That's just because you're a Patriots fan
and a Tom Brady fan. So it's perfect for me.
But yeah, I feel like
nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, we better unlock this.
Yeah, everybody talked about it for one day. They counted down to 11:59 or whatever, and then the MLB's locked out, and then it happened, and ever since then it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think if baseball don't act soon, people are going to pass up on baseball and go to a different sport.
See, here's the thing, right? And like I said, always listening to stuff is, I was listening, of course, to Michael K. Show. And listen, Michael, what do you want me to do? It's fantastic. It's fantastic radio.
Get him on the show then.
I'm trying.
Oh, I talked to
Don LaGreca, who's the co-host of the show.
Oh yeah, and then you said, "Can you get Michael K on?" Wow,
I think I might have.
How horrible!
I said at the end of the interview, I said, do me a favor. But anyway, he said he remembers the lockout, and what was it? I think in the 80s they had one as well. And, he was, kind of a kid or whatever. And he was like, there was nothing to do. Because that's when, baseball and stuff was on top. And it was, oh my gosh, there's a lockout. Like, what are we going to do now? And blah, blah, blah. Now the MLB locks out and it's like, okay, well, basketball's on. Or, the MLB's locked out right now. Why are we going to talk about it when it's in the middle? Yeah, why are we going to talk about it in the middle of the football season? Like, there's other options now. Baseball isn't, America's sport anymore. That's football, and it has been for a long time. So it's just, I don't know. They might have overplayed their hand here, thinking that everybody was going to be like, oh my gosh, no baseball. Like, what are we going to do now? It's kind of like, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to watch everything else that we watch.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, you even have some hockey talk going on right now. Like, hockey's still going, and there's fans out there.
Shout out to New York Rangers, baby. I think we're in first place right now, although we did just get clapped yesterday, like 7-2. But before that, I think we were on like a 6-game win streak.
Oh, well, that's good.
Not a big hockey fan, but my dad likes hockey, so I kind of pay attention to it.
I mean, if you have a team in your area, you have to at least pay attention somewhat. Like, you can't say that you're not a fan. I mean, you're not a loyal. You're a casual fan, I mean, it's fine to be
casual one. To the top degree, unless they make the playoffs. Because a few years ago, they made a nice run to the Stanley Cup. I watched like every playoff game.
Oh, nice. Do you understand hockey?
In a way, I think the icing calls still confuse me a little bit. Like, I don't understand how you get an icing call.
Okay, the line in the way back by the goalie, it goes across.
Yeah.
That's if the puck is back there and they touch it, it's icing. Like, you can't just throw it down into the zone and try to go get it. Like, if the defense beats it to their own side by their goalie, gets it before anybody from the offense touches it, it's icing.
I just don't understand why. Like, what's the point?
Because you could just, from the goalie, like if he has the puck, send it down and everybody try to storm to it and get it in your zone. Like, if you can't do your double line passing, then how can you throw it all the way down there and go and get it?
I'm still a little confuzzled, Michael. I'll look
But you-
into it.
But you know what's going on with it now.
No,
right?
I know. I when icing is about to happen, I know what's going to happen, but I still don't like fully comprehend it.
Like if
But,
the
like,
goalie
everything-
goes back and touches it, it's not icing.
Oh, really?
Just so
I
you-
thought that's what made it icing.
No. One of the actual defenders or the forwards or center, whichever you want to say, goes and touches it. But if the goalie touches it, it's not icing. Like a lot of times when there's a power play going on and the shorthanded team, they will throw it down there into the zone and not go after it just because it milks some time and on
Yeah,
the power play.
Yeah, okay.
But if they were to touch it, it would be icing. But the goalie will go back and touch it so everybody can reset and keep the flow going. Because by the time you do the
I
face-off,
thoroughly enjoy rewatching Game 7 of the conference finals or whatever it's
Mhm.
called in hockey. Where I don't remember who scored the goal, but they scored in overtime, I believe, for the Rangers to move on to the Stanley Cup. Fantastic. I still watch it sometimes.
you need to look up on YouTube as soon as we get done Red Wings and I think it was the Avalanche fight. Just look that up. It was just
I remember the Rangers and
No, don't even worry about it.
I don't know.
This-
The Rangers and somebody last year got into a full line brawl because the previous game, one of the other players on the other team
Trust
hurt
me.
somebody on the Rangers.
Go watch it. Look up Red
I'll take a
Wings
gander.
Avalanche brawl. No.
take a
Like the
gander.
fight lasted 15 to 20 minutes. Like legit.
All right, Mike.
The goalies
I got a
even went
question for you then. Have you ever looked up the Yankee Oriole brawl?
No.
All right, I'll look up that one. You look up the Yankee Oriole one. Like back in the 90s, they were spilling into the dugout, and it was we see a lot of fights these days where it's
Mhm.
gonna hold me back. No.
Yeah.
They were swinging.
It was
Very
a lot of I'm in your face. Oh yeah, I punked you out. But no punches thrown.
This is true, Michael. This is true. Well, Michael, do you have anything else? Because I think we're good.
Well, I just wanted to say a lot of things going on with the lockout that I actually heard today on a couple podcasts with what is it, John Boy? I listened to a podcast today
Big
with
John
him,
Boy guy.
and just some of the points that he made kind of made me think like they were talking about the ceiling, the floor, and all that stuff, and how
As they should.
right. And he was talking about how that the players or the media and everyone always thinks it's the players that are being greedy on this, and then you try to get the players against each other because the high paying players and the low playing players get them fighting against each other, and they can't come to anything. They have to the bid. But they're talking about now they're trying to, instead of do it to the players, they're doing it to the owners. And this is one thing that I wanted to kind of touch base with you on, something that you usually say. Let me pull it up here. Is there's actually a grievance going on right now against the Marlins, the Rays, and the Orioles for tanking in 2017-18 season or something like that.
Okay.
Because they're saying where they tanked, they were getting their monies that we talked about, the shared monies, and not investing it into their players or anything like that. So there's actually a grievance going on between the MLB and I'm assuming the owners, because, I mean, you have to agree with it if you think about it. If like your Yankees are paying millions of whatever dollars into whatever this shared amount.
Yeah, it's revenue sharing.
Yeah. And then they're not actually using it for anything.
Yeah, they pocket it.
And I know we talked about this on our show last time, but, you know, if you think about it, he even brought up like the NBA has this. I mean, everyone has a ceiling and a floor. And if you don't reach the floor in the NBA, you just take that money. Like he used a team, I can't remember, but he said they owed like $5 million more. And instead of like spending it on something that whatever, they just divided it through the whole team, that $5 million, and gave them more. So I was like, you know, at least you make them have to pay that instead of just pocketing it, because how is it fair for a higher team to pay this revenue for someone else just to get it?
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was never like poor small market team. Like you and I know everybody else always got mad at me for it, but it was always.
Well, it is poor small market teams, but the small market teams aren't held accountable to use that money.
But see, that's my thing though. I don't look at it as poor small market team, because you are right. Yeah, you're in a smaller market, but you're also getting an extra $50 million from teams like the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and everybody like that,
Right.
because they're spending all this money. But they're taking the money and saying, "Oh, look, that's an extra $40 million that I can profit instead of, oh, this is $40 million that I can look at my roster now and say, okay, we suck at this position. Maybe I should upgrade it. Instead, they're like, I'll throw $5 million into it. Maybe I'm not spending all 40. So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of a scummy situation. Like when you look at it, like the fact that everybody they're screaming, oh, poor me. And then it's, well, what'd you do with the money? And it's like, don't worry about it.
Right. And I agree with that. Absolutely. Like if you don't make them be accountable of spending that money some way, that is a problem. And I would not agree with that at all. So who knows? It's interesting. They used some war tactic. I don't know what they said. They even said the war where they did it, tried to get the people battling each other, something about walking backwards. I don't know. But I just thought it made more sense of what they're doing with that revenue, the luxury tax and stuff. So
I still think that the taking away of the draft pick after a certain amount of years is a great idea because that's why you're tanking. You're tanking to get that draft pick. Mm-hmm. So listen, and that's my thing. It's not like after 1 year they take it away and it's like, oh, you can't get the draft pick. It's after like 3 or 4. So like
right.
4 years in a row of a first round pick. If you're still not putting at least a somewhat competitive product on the field where you're not in the top 10 still, mm-hmm. All right, maybe we exclude you from the top 10 and you get, you can get whatever below that or something. I don't know. But I still like that idea.
I don't like the draft pick because, for one, if they're tanking or if they're not tanking and they just are losing and you take that pick, it's only going to hurt them more. But we're not the ones that are going to solve this. These people should have already had something going on. Like the media should be hearing something. That's what kind of ticks me off. There's nothing being said about the lockout. And hopefully by the next time.
Not going to end anytime soon.
No, like hopefully we hear something in a week and we can come back with something on that.
It's like I said last episode, it's going to be a long one. So strap up the boots, people. We'll be here trying to keep you entertained, though, as we always do. I think we got some few segments we could work on, Michael. We'll think. We'll get into the think tank. And people, of course, if you have any suggestions for the kids,
absolutely,
let us know.
I think we need to come up with an old school stat of some sort and look into it, like games played, how do they do this, compared to now. And then obviously the lockout, we're going to continue that because that's going to be a discussion probably up until May. And then we'll try to look at some prospects coming up because at least minor leaguers can do something.
That they can. They're still allowed to play.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little, we always did on Gen Z, we can do a little who am I? Maybe we could do blind resumes where we compare two people, try to figure out which one is better. Hey,
Ooh. Well,
maybe,
okay.
Maybe you do a blind resume, right? So we switch it off each week. I pick 2 players, and then I say, and maybe we try to find somebody that's good that everybody thinks is good, and then we look at somebody who everybody's like, oh, they're mediocre. Mm-hmm. Then we compare it, and it's like, see, gotcha.
Do we want to do it active players, or like can we pull someone from the 90s?
Hey, listen, Michael, you do whatever. As long you do whatever helps you sleep at night.
Because I don't think we should go with over or old players that are no longer playing. Because then you're going to get better batting averages and stuff like that.
This is true.
Because it's not. They don't care about batting average anymore.
This is also true. But Michael, we will think. We
will think. We will ponder, as they say.
Exactly, Michael. I think that wraps it for us.
Whenever I come up with one, you're going to be buffaloed.
Buffaloed. Never in my life did I ever hear that.
Now you have.
Michael, where can they find you?
Right here.
Sip of water.
On Backstop Banter with Unwrapped Sports Network. On Colorcast, MD Lawson 00 USN. Also, you can find me on Twitter with MD Lawson 00. That's also my TikTok. I just did one little quick one right before we went live. Tagged you in it, Anthony. Don't know if you've seen it yet, but just saying, hey, come join us. But also, I have a show on Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It is called Count the Bucket, where we talk mostly NBA, but we cover pretty much everything basketball. We need to start diving more into college a little bit, but check me out there. And also, like I said, go to Colorcast, find us there, type in USN. You may be able to find everyone now. I know they just did an update, haven't been too much into it yet, but go check us out there.
Yes,
Also,
sir.
in all my bios, you can check my link tree to find everything.
Wow. As for me, people, Anthony Conover _ on Twitter for the personal.
Look how matched.
Wow, look at you, Michael,
You didn't
messing with
know
your
that.
cup in your Carhartt or whatever it's called.
That's right. You know exactly what it's called.
No, but I don't know if it's Carhartt or Cart.
It's car.
Okay, so you didn't even know, so don't give me that.
TJ Watt rolled out.
Ew.
Will not
I'm
return.
very happy I didn't start the Steelers defense, though. I thought about it, but I didn't in fantasy.
Wow, they're trash.
Yeah, but usually they're so good. So,
But they're trash.
This
TJ
year they
Watt.
are.
Come on, TJ. Come on, TJ.
Listen, Michael, let me get my promos, you animal. Out here stealing a spotlight. Typical. Or trying to.
Thank you.
I am the
Thank you.
spotlight.
You just
Anthony
said it.
Conover _ over on Twitter. Gen Z Sports for the pod on Twitter as well. Monday, Generational Sports. Me and my boy CJ, Jesus. Me and my boy Josh covering everything from football to UFC.
See how much he cares about you, Josh.
Anything that you can think of, we're covering. Tuesday, 9 Eastern. That's when I do the hard count. Me and my boy CJ covering everything in the football world. And then, unfortunately, I have to do this with Michael every Thursday, 9 Eastern,
That
breaking down
hurts.
everything in the MLB world. Lockout coverage. Listen, people, we got you. If you need something about baseball, that's what we're here for.
We'll be here. We may not be able to talk about much, but we'll be here.
You know what, Michael? I think the people come 60% baseball, 40% personality.
I would agree with that.
But, Michael, with that being
Look
said,
there.
I think another
Already
great
ranked.
episode has happened. And with
Listen,
that being
you need
said,
to get in cards with me, man.
I don't know.
I'm just going to quick tell you on this one. See this? PSA 10
I
Jen
do.
Tyler Hero rookie card. Paid $40 for it, and it's already going on eBay for anywhere from $70 to $90.
Michael, I bought an NFT for $6 and it sells for
I don't know what
$500.
that means. I don't know what that means.
Okay, but I'd rather buy an NFT for $6 and sell it for $500 like I am right now.
Are you going to sell it?
I am going to sell it.
Nice. What else? Tell me. Like, you teach me this NFT.
I will. It
stuff.
stands for non-fungible token. It's like see, Michael, you have a card right there.
Non-fundable token?
Fungible.
Okay.
See, Michael, you have your cards right there.
Mm-hmm.
I have the same thing. They're just digital.
But you don't have it, right? Like, I mean, it's
not a physical thing. It's just digital.
But is it a real thing?
I own it, yeah.
What do you own?
I own the NFT. I own that thing. It's like you own that card, Michael. I own that NFT.
You mean I own this card that I
so
can hold in my hand?
Okay. I don't care about holding it in my hand. I care about holding the $500 I'll get from profit.
I mean,
But,
legit,
Michael,
definitely. So, like, where do you go to make these purchases?
Big old VV. VEVE. You're partnered with, Marvel, Disney, the USPS. Yeah, that's right. So, listen.
VEVE.
Listen, Michael, big things coming. They're going to come out with, like, their own. It's almost going to be like the Matrix, Michael.
Digital collectibles.
It's going to be like the Matrix. They're coming out with a world where you can use your NFTs in, like, a video game type of thing. So, it's going to be something, Michael.
So it's an app?
It is an app.
Might as well download this.
And that's where you buy the collectibles, and then you can sell them.
To sign in. I don't want Google. I just want it on my phone.
Michael, you're so old. Anyway, we will see everybody on the next episode.